beneath 4 kilometers of crushing Atlantic darkness. The world holds its breath. The ocean floor sleeps in silence until a faint beam of light cuts through the abyss, drifting downward like a falling star. As the diver descends, the water grows colder, the light weaker, and from the blackness, a colossal shape emerges, vast, fractured, yet hauntingly beautiful. The Titanic rises from the deep, her once proud hull now draped in rust and coral, her decks wrapped in stillness. Every surface tells a story, every shadow hums with memory. The beam glides across broken staircases and open doorways, revealing fragments of life left behind. A teacup resting in the sand, a curtain drifting softly, a nameplate barely visible beneath time's hand. The ship feels alive, breathing in silence, her presence heavy and sacred beneath the endless weight of the sea. The ocean has not destroyed her, it has preserved her, turning metal into monument, loss into legend. Down here, time does not move. It lingers, suspended in the cold embrace of the deep. And as the diver's light fades into darkness, the Titanic remains, eternal and unbroken, a cathedral of memory where the sea itself remembers. The diver glides deeper into the wreck, his light slicing through the thick black water as shadows retreat to the edges of sight. The grand dining hall unfolds before him, a vast chamber frozen in time. Once alive with laughter and music, it now rests in absolute stillness, the air replaced by water and memory. Tables stand where they once were, chairs collapsed, silverware scattered like echoes of a vanished life. The beam of light dances across crystal fragments that shimmer faintly in the gloom, each reflection like a heartbeat that refuses to fade. Rust drips from the ceiling like ancient rain, coating everything in shades of brown and red. The silence here is not empty. It breathes, carrying whispers of the past through the drifting silt. The room feels haunted, but not by fear, rather by reverence, as though the sea itself guards what remains. A small lamp lies half buried in the sand, its shape still graceful beneath layers of decay. The diver moves slowly, almost hesitant, afraid to disturb the peace that time has built. The Titanic's dining hall no longer hosts voices or light, yet in its stillness, it holds something eternal, a quiet beauty. Beyond the dining hall, the grand staircase emerges from the dark like the spine of a sleeping giant. Once a symbol of grace and wealth, it now stands draped in rust and coral, its railings twisted yet still elegant beneath the soft light. The diver's beam glides upward, revealing carved details still clinging to the walls, patterns now blurred by time, but not erased. Curtains drift in slow motion, their faded fabric moving like breath through the still water. The chandelier is gone, yet its ghost lingers, its light imagined in the way dust swirls around the beam. The staircase feels alive, not as it was, but as something reborn through silence. Every step seems to remember the rhythm of footsteps that once crossed it. Every railing hums softly, with echoes of laughter and music that will never return. The ocean has not taken its beauty, it has only changed it, turning gold into rust and motion into peace. The diver hovers for a moment, his light reflecting off a single shard of glass resting on the step, glowing faintly before vanishing again. In that fleeting shimmer, the Titanic feels alive, a ghostly memory suspended. The diver moves deeper through a narrow corridor where the walls seem to close in and the silence feels heavier. The light cuts through the water, revealing layers of rust that glimmer faintly like veins of copper beneath the decay. Doors hang open, leading to rooms swallowed by darkness and drifting silt. A cracked mirror clings to the wall, reflecting nothing but the beam of light and the slow dance of dust that moves like frozen breath. The passage feels endless, stretching forward into a place where time no longer exists. The diver's movements are careful, each stroke sending ripples through the still, airless world. On the floor, a shoe lies half-buried, its shape perfectly preserved, a quiet reminder of the human presence that once filled this space. Curtains sway softly at the end of the hall, moving as though stirred by memory. The deeper he goes, the more it feels as if the ship is not empty but merely asleep, watching from the shadows with 1,000 silent eyes. The corridor bends into darkness, and for a moment, everything stops. Even the water seems to hold its breath. In that silence, the Titanic feels alive again, a memory wrapped in steel. The diver enters what was once the galley, a place once alive with heat, movement, and the scent of food now swallowed by cold stillness. Pots and pans lie scattered across the floor, their surfaces covered in rust and coral, while utensils rest where hands once left them. The beam of light glides across overturned tables and cracked ovens, revealing traces of a world that stopped in a single moment. Shelves lean against the walls, their wood softened by time, their emptiness filled with drifting silt. A single plate stands upright on a counter, as if waiting for a meal that never came. The silence feels different here, heavier, like the room itself remembers the rhythm of laughter and work. Tiny fish drift through the space, their silver bodies moving softly where steam once rose. The diver's light catches a metal kettle half buried in sand, and for an instant, its curve shines as if polished again by memory. The galley feels both haunting and peaceful, a quiet monument to daily life, turned eternal. Nothing stirs but the sea itself, breathing gently through the wreck. What was once a place of creation now feeds the ocean, not with food. The diver glides into the second-class dining room, and the light reveals a space both haunting and graceful. The walls that once shimmered with polished wood are now veiled in rust, their color turned to bronze by time. Tables lie collapsed, chairs scattered, and yet the room still holds a strange order, as if the guests had only just left. Dust and silt drift in slow motion, dancing through the beam of light like faint spirits of the past. On the floor, a silver spoon gleams faintly, untouched for more than a century, a fragment of human life preserved by the sea. Tiny fish weave through the still water, their movements soft and silent, as if they too feel the reverence of this place. The ocean has turned decay into art, draping every surface in texture and shadow. The diver moves quietly through the room, careful not to disturb the delicate peace that hangs in the water. Every object feels sacred, every wall hums with memory. What was once filled with conversation and laughter now exists only in silence. And yet that silence speaks more clearly than any sound. In the dim light, the Titanic's dining room still breathes. Beyond the dining room, the diver drifts into the silver storage, a chamber where light bends softly against forgotten treasures. The beam moves across scattered utensils, spoons and cups resting in quiet disarray, their once polished surfaces now dulled by rust, yet still shimmering faintly under the drifting silt. Stacks of porcelain plates remain balanced on tilted shelves, each one fragile but unbroken, each one holding the weight of memory. The floor glitters with fragments of glass, reflections of a vanished world flickering like stars beneath the sea. The silence here feels sacred, as though the ship itself guards these remnants with reverence. A silver tray lies overturned, its engraved edges blurred but not lost, symbols of elegance surviving beneath time's decay. As the diver's light shifts, a small teacup catches the beam and glows with a soft halo before fading back into darkness. The room breathes with history, every object whispering of hands that once touched them, of conversations that once filled the air above. The sea has turned this place into a museum of silence, where beauty endures not in brilliance, but in stillness. The diver pauses, surrounded by quiet light and memory, and for a moment, the diver moves deeper into a small cabin, a room once private and full of life, now resting in perfect stillness. The light reveals the outline of a bed frame pressed against the wall, its metal eaten away but still standing. A desk leans to one side, half buried in silt, and on its surface lies a comb, a cup, and a small framed photo now blurred beyond recognition. Coral has begun to bloom across the furniture, thin branches reaching gently into the water as if reclaiming what was lost. Dust drifts in the light like slow-falling snow, settling over every trace of humanity. The cabin feels untouched, yet intimate, filled not with fear, but with a quiet reverence. The diver's light moves slowly, capturing the shape of a shoe resting near the bed, a final gesture of the person who once called this place home. It is a fragile moment, suspended between memory and eternity. The sea has not erased the human presence here. It has preserved it with care, wrapping every detail in silence. The air feels thick with emotion, though there is none left to breathe. In this small, forgotten room, the Titanic still lives, not as a ship of The diver glides through a narrow passage and enters what was once the mailroom, where thousands of letters once carried the voices of those who never returned. The beam of light sweeps across the floor, revealing scattered envelopes softened by the sea. Their ink long vanished, yet their presence strangely alive. A leather bag lies open against the wall, its contents resting like the memories of hands that once touched them. The silence here feels deeper, heavy with unspoken words, as if the ocean itself listens. Each letter is a fragment of a story that never reached its end. Messages once filled with love and hope, now resting quietly beneath the tide of time. Tiny fish drift between them like gentle couriers of the past, their movements slow and deliberate, as though afraid to disturb the peace. The walls shimmer faintly with reflections of the diver's light, turning the room into a chamber of memory. Nothing here speaks, and yet everything does. In the stillness of the deep, where human voices have faded, but emotion remains, the Titanic does not only hold objects, she holds intentions, dreams, and promises sealed forever in the dark. The diver lingers, surrounded by the echoes of words that were never heard. At the far end of the corridor, the diver approaches a grand brass door, standing crooked but unbroken, its surface covered in white anemones that sway gently with the current, like flowers blooming in eternal night. The beam of light glides across faded engravings and corroded handles, revealing the quiet dignity of craftsmanship meant to last forever. A red ribbon floats nearby, twisting slowly through the water, like a fragment of memory refusing to fade. Beyond the doorway, the darkness deepens until the ship disappears into shadow once more. The diver pauses, letting the silence fill the moment, as if listening to the heartbeat of the deep itself. Around him, the Titanic stretches endlessly, her body now part of the ocean floor, yet her presence still powerful, still alive. The sea has not destroyed her. It has preserved her, turning tragedy into beauty and ruin into remembrance. As the light fades, the ship seems to breathe, the water shimmering softly along her surface, like the pulse of a sleeping creature. The diver begins to ascend, leaving behind the vast silhouette of a legend resting in peace. Down here in the cold, eternal dark, the Titanic endures, not as wreckage, but as memory unbroken, unforgotten, forever alive beneath the sea.